Make this spring the season of you with a bedroom refresh from Ashley. Discover our latest styles starting at $499.99 to transform your bedroom into a serene retreat you'll never want to leave. Plus 60-month special financing on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. And get ready to rise with more shine. Introducing the all-new Sealy Posturepedic collection with precision fit coils for targeted support. Starting at $799. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
I got you something that's green. You don't mean nothing to me. It's just not that deep. Stuck in your ways. I don't got no time to play. If you got something to say it before you leave me. Breaking up.
Oh, let me swap over. Good evening. Let me turn on my camera.
Evening. I feel like this is the correct time to use that phrase.
What do you mean? What's happening with
Evening.
Indiana? Oh, Stevening.
Yeah, saying Stevening.
I haven't heard that one in a while. That was a
Minecraft movie.
True. I'm just saying that was what a Jones thing way back when.
I think
that,
Jones would use that.
I think so. I thought he was the first one to start using that.
He might have been.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard that in a lot of my friends' groups.
For those in chat that might be confused of what we're talking about, Paul and I used to play on a old school before the low budget LCS was like a thing that we knew about. The DCCS.
Yeah.
Played on the Optic Gaming team because Paul for some reason couldn't cut it in the TSM one. Don't know. And we had a guy on the team, or that was like a sub on the team, that would open every day saying Stevening.
Yep.
Have you been seeing the videos of the Minecraft movie in theaters though?
Yeah. Some of them are really funny. One of them I saw like recently was them just trashing a movie theater, and I was like, well, that sucks. But most of them are hilarious.
Yeah, I enjoy the ones where people just go ballistic. I would not go to a theater that is just somebody throwing popcorn everywhere. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that part really does suck that kids want to do that for some reason. It's not even kids. It's like, I guess, teenagers to adults.
Yeah.
Like, you think it's a funny joke. But the rest of the stuff is actually really funny. And it's been a good time.
The chicken jockey yelling has been fantastic every time.
Yep.
I love it.
It's good.
I was walking to the office
They
today,
really hit
and
there.
I saw they were talking about it on ABC this morning, like the whole drama around it. I was like, okay, this convinced me even further. This is going to be $1 billion movie when it's all said and done. People are just going for the memes at this point. People are going to go back multiple times just for the memes. It's like the Minion movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. When you read online that people can't figure out why it's doing so well when it has terrible critic scores, you know a movie's on fire.
Yep.
Like, that's when people start coping that a movie sucks, you know it's on fire.
Yep.
Just how it is.
That's my favorite, though. I love whenever, like, terrible movies just get absolute banged at the box office because you just have the right crowd and the right people that are saying, fuck it, we're going to make this a thing. Screw you.
Yep.
I love it. Movie's apparently trash, though. I still have yet to see. I'm scared to see it in theaters. I'm not going to lie to you.
Fair.
I already don't trust certain New York crowds. The possibility of popcorn being thrown on my head does not sound fun. But if I can go to one that has just like people screaming chicken jockey, Steve, and everything else, crafting table, you name it, I'm down. I'm absolutely down.
Also, we haven't even said it yet. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are a national champion.
I ordered my $40 shirt.
And your fan base is posted some good troll today.
What do you mean?
They put the only two schools with a title in the last 20 years, or it was like 19 years. They said is Florida and UConn. No one else has pulled it off, and Carolina would be included if they went back 20 instead of 19. So they said the guy put in the comments. Somebody put, "Why won't you go back 20?" And he put, "Why would I go back 20? I don't want to. It doesn't help me." Because he was posting about how blue bloods are dead.
Yep.
He was like, the blue bloods are dead. There's no blue blood has won in the last 20 years 3 times. And all the North Carolina fans were like, we won in 2005. And they're like, nuh-uh. And I was like, that's such a good move to just go,
Oh god, I love it.
Just be like, I don't care.
Bro, our fan base has been fantastic because we have been dealing with people's shit from Auburn and Alabama being better than us
Yep.
all year. Like, we've been waiting for these licks to come. And now that we finally got our moment, we got people falling off a light post. Gainesville was a fucking amazing shit show on Monday night. It was great. I had nothing but videos from Gainesville the entire night on my TikTok feed.
Yep.
It was glorious. And then you have people,
sure it was.
the best, because I've gotten shit for this too, so I love it. The girl who is press, but was like student press for Florida. And they're like, you're not supposed to show bias in the media. She's Florida student press. The fuck do you want from people? Like, if it was the other way around, yeah, let the Houston student press person go fucking nuts. Not my, like, if they're allowed in the press area, but they're a part of the school, like, I'm sorry, they're allowed to show their bias.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point of working for a school, like, is kind of being biased. It's even, I mean, it kills me because they do this to the local, like, NBA teams too. They'll be like, I don't like watching that team's local thing because they're biased. And I'm like, brother, you're tuning into that team's broadcast. What did you think? They're gonna, like, yeah, sometimes they'll have some takes that are like slightly nuanced enough to give you some breathing room, but overall I want them to, like, be pro my team. Why would I watch it if it wasn't pro my team? That's stupid.
Yeah.
So insane to me.
I love it though. I love every bit of it. It's so nice. The only school in NCAA history to have 3 football titles and 3 basketball titles. We are
That is pretty cool.
We are a dual threat school. That, like, by all means, I get the UNC hype. I do. But nobody is a more well-rounded school when it comes to that than us. Like, in terms of the big sports, nobody's as well-rounded as Florida's been. Also, we're a recession indicator.
Yeah.
We're a recession indicator.
Oh, yeah, you are.
We win every time before a recession.
Okay.
Hey, guess what? It's coming. It's coming.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't make that joke on the podcast.
You probably can.
Give me... No, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay. Well,
does
that to do
send you this joke so you can say it.
Does that to do with market manipulation?
Yeah. Oh, I can't say that.
Let's see what you're sending me. All right, the joke that was definitely planned by me and come up with by me. It's not a recession if my president insider trades.
Which is a good joke by you. Which I cannot make because that is my commander-in-chief and I'm a member of the armed forces, so I will say no ill things. But by you, that was a good joke.
What can I say?
And you know, I can't stop what people say on social media. This is just vaguely speaking, of course. I can't stop what people say on social media before things happen minutes later that happen to be massive indicators of market movement. And that's none of my responsibility in my scope of work.
It's fun watching you dance around this. I'm enjoying this. This is great. This is what I have to do anytime you talk about Disney. So like I'm enjoying the shit out of it. This is nice to have it on the other foot for once.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. It's bad. It's tough when that I have to dance now. I hate
Yeah.
that I have to dance. It's no fun. But I am full time, so I kind of gotta actually
You gotta
play
play
it
the
safe now.
politics. Yeah.
Yeah,
We had
yeah,
our
because I like my job.
I will say this, not and I'm allowed to talk freely about other people. I've been watching a lot of the stuff around Epic Universe. Must say,
Dude.
pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna cap.
I can get us tickets for really cheap too.
No shit, really.
The military ticket there is nuts, dude. It's $250 for a season pass.
Oh,
Yeah, to all 3 parks.
damn. Hang on.
Yeah, and I get 6 of them, so it's actually kind of a low-key insane deal. But yeah, the toothless animatronic that you can meet is kind of crazy. I was watching a video of this guy like rub around the head. He's rubbing the top and it goes like it puts its head down and rubs into it. He rubs under the chin, it puts its head up like it likes where he's touching it. That's like
it's a
stupid
Boston
stuff.
Dynamics robot, right?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure those those videos that we've all been watching for a bit now that are like freaky how good the robots are.
Con said it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I heard that it was a
Mm-hmm.
Boston Dynamics thing, which would explain why it's like so good. I'm just impressed, and the one that I have to go to fucking the Ministry of Magic. Dude, it looks insane over video. I can
Does look
only imagine how good it looks in person.
My only gripe with Universal has been with the way they handle Harry Potter is I don't understand putting the same IP in every single park. I think it's so weird, but maybe that's just because I'm a Disney fan and I like that Disney keeps things like in their place a lot better than them. But I mean, it is what it is. It looks good, so I'm not gonna complain too hard. And they're doing good stuff with animatronics. Like they're getting on the level of Disney. I think they're still slightly behind. That's a personal opinion, but whatever. But they're getting very close. Like they're getting to that level. I would think the only thing they need to do to really step up to the game of their competitor that we cannot talk about because of somebody on this show, is add a better breathing effect. I think the way that like the company down the street does breathing and slight movements of the neck and arms is still a little bit better. And these are all obviously small things, like very slight differences. And I am a very what would you call it? I'm a snobby theme parker because I enjoy theme parking to its fullest.
Well, I appreciate you and anybody else like that is willing to keep my paycheck alive, sir. Even though technically, theme parking doesn't have anything to do with like my cut of paycheck, but
yeah,
it still
but it gives you guys room. It gives everyone room to breathe in your area of life.
Yeah, you can say that.
And you don't even need to thank me. You should thank my daughter. She's going on her first trip this September. She's already pumping money into the system at 6 months.
She doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah, and she's technically not. She's free. But
I was gonna say, but
yeah,
she is an excuse for her parents to go and spend money.
Yep.
Because her parents
I called
want
them
to
and
give
asked them. We're going to the nice restaurant on top of Contemporary on our trip.
Ooh.
And because I wanted to overlook Magic Kingdom in the evening, and I was like, "Can I bring an infant, or is this like too fancy to bring an infant?" And they went, "How old will she be?" And I was like, 6 months. And they went, "Why wouldn't you bring her?" And I was like, "Oh." And they were like, "Yeah, you want to come here? You're coming to be here? We're happy to see her." They were like, "We want to see a baby." And I was like, "That's hilarious that they say that because you know how many babies they probably see."
Oh,
and they're still like, they're like, "Dude, come on. They're like, this is the best. They're like, we love kids. They're like, get that kid in here. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh man,
And
bro.
they were telling me, don't even worry about the dress code, because that place has a slight dress code.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't even stress it. You're a new parent. And I was like, okay, man. I mean, I'm still gonna dress up a little bit because I feel awkward
Yeah.
not to. But
I think they're more talking about
yeah,
the kid than anything else.
no, that's a good point. Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
a
like,
good point.
the kid can wear whatever the hell he wants. You don't gotta worry about dressing up the kid.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yep.
Speaking of babies, today's the one day a year that I get baby fever. Every year, without a question. It's like clockwork.
4/9.
Was that?
Why?
No guesses at all?
April 9th?
Not the day. It's not like the number day in particular, but today and a sporting event that happens today.
49. Oh, the Masters.
The Masters Par 3 contest, bro. When
Oh,
I see
man.
everybody out there with their wives and little kids out in the Masters
Yep.
caddy bibs, I text Emily every year, be like, maybe it's time to make it happen. Maybe it's time to do the thing. Is it time to get him a little bib? By the way, I saw
That's fair.
a Florida Gators national championship baby
Ugh.
outfit, and I was like, I could really be a
for
dick to
you.
Paul right now. I could send him one for free.
I would not put that on my daughter, but you can.
Yeah, but no,
They.
I saw all the little kids running around today at Augusta, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is too cute. So then it's on every TV in the office, and I'm one of the few in finance. Like, again, mostly women, and then a few guys. The few guys that are there, most of which are like theater people rather than like sports people, other than because the ESPN crew like shifted to like a different part of the building. And then the one other guy that golfs, he was in like a meeting or something like that. So the Masters are on, and everybody's like, so has the tournament begun? Why are there so many kids? And I start explaining everything. And the girl's like, oh my God, that's so cute. And I was like, I know.
Yep.
Now you're beginning to understand why I can't watch this day for more than 3 or 4 hours without thinking that I need to fuck up my life for the next 9 months real quick right now. Okay? Like, it is like, it's a situation in this household.
No,
And my
I get
dad
why you are
calls
in love
me.
with it.
He's asking about it. He's like, when are you gonna have a grandkid? So we could take him to the Masters. I was like, Dad, you're not helping. All right? You ain't helping the cause.
That's actually pretty awesome, though. He wants to take his grandkid.
Oh, dude, my
To the
dad
Masters.
is so excited for grandkids. I think
bet.
he asked us I want to say last Christmas. He's like, no rush. To be very clear, like no rush. I know you guys are financially not ready for it yet, given where we're at, state of the economy, and a bunch of other shit. But he's like, when am I gonna get to play with a little one? What's the deal? And I was like, got it, understood. He's like, once they turn like 4, give them to your mom. Don't give a shit. But like, baby, I'm down to play with a baby. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
you're that. I'm more like my mom. I'm more excited for whenever like that 4 to 5 range comes.
Yep. My dad is fiending for a boy. He's already asking about the next one. Because
Really?
he's like, because he only has 3 girls right now, granddaughters, and he really just wants that boy that he can chuck around, to watch basketball with. And he has his what is it, the Carolina onesie
Oh, he's got it ready.
that every boy
Wow.
gets put in. Yeah, every Paul's been in it since the first. So
Jesus Christ.
yeah, that piece of clothing is like 160 years old. Stupid.
What are you gonna
Not
do
really,
whenever
so-
the one Paul makes the decision to go devil blue instead of Tar Heel blue? He's the rebellious
never
one of the
happen.
family.
That would never happen. I genuinely that would never happen. That'd be worse than a fundamentalist Baptist son turning gay. Like, it would be worse than that. It would not happen in my family.
I don't know what example I thought you were gonna use in that situation. That was not the one I thought you would go with, but you're still right. Like I get it.
It cannot happen. Like, that would be a disaster. because her family jokingly brought a Duke ACC champs onesie because her uncle is a Duke fan, and he gave it to me. And he was like, "Hey, when are you gonna put her in this? It's cute. It's a funny joke." And I was like, "Whatever, bro. If you want to put her in it while we're here at her dad's house, do what you want, whatever." And then when we were leaving, like he didn't, but he bought it and all that, and he was trying to give it to me like to take home, and I was like, "I'm not taking it home." And he just looked at me and he was like, "Wait, you're serious?" And I was like, "I'm not. That's not coming home with me." And he went, "What would you do if you took it home?" And I was like, "I'd throw it away. Like I would legitimately just throw it away, and it wouldn't even go in the house. I would throw it away outside, like in the trash can. I'd make sure it didn't go through the door." And he went, "That's so psycho." And I was like, "Not really." I was like, "You know where I stand on that. Like that's not going on my daughter.
I respect
That's
it.
like one of the things that means something to me." I do not like I enjoyed
the
every
wife.
second
The
of
wife
Duke
means
doing
nothing. The kid itself means nothing. The UNC onesie on the kid, that means something to me.
that. Yeah. Okay, Khan made a point. I would let it all, or Lunar did. Lunar said if Paul Green 5 commits to Duke, if he's good enough to commit to Duke, it's all out the window,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm chilling. He goes where he's got to go. Like, I think if he's good enough to go to Duke, he'd probably go to Carolina. But if it fits and Duke can get him to be a top 5 draft pick like they've done with a lot of men, you're not gonna watch me complain.
What if he's just like fifth man role player on the team? Not like
he
not
didn't
draft.
have to go there?
Yeah, it doesn't have to go to the draft, but like it seems like it's a better fit. They're more likely to win a national championship with Duke in the current squad as it is.
Yeah.
He's not going to the NBA, so he's there to fill a role, okay? But he's on the team.
So you don't think he can't go to the league? He's just there to fill a spot? I would be disappointed if he picked Duke, yeah.
Really?
I'd be disappointed, but I'd go to every game.
He'd also be, to be clear, he'd also be
Like-
raking in cash with NIL.
Oh yeah, he's a starter, right? In this scenario?
We'll say first bench.
First bench kid? I mean, yeah, I'd be chilling.
All right.
I mean, honestly, if your kid's that good, you can't actually hate on how good your kid is.
Just asking.
Like,
you never know the scenarios that might come up in life.
yeah.
What if your daughter gets into golf, okay? Gets an offer from Duke to be on their starting team, but might have to fight for her spot on UNC's golf team.
Then yeah, you send her to Duke. Start.
Just making sure.
But by that point, I'd assume there's a million colleges she could go to.
And you're just praying
You'd
that she
hope.
picks anybody
You'd
but
hope.
Duke.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if they pick it and like that is life. I would be like, yeah, if you're playing and all that, and you got to do your thing and you got to make your life work out. I ain't gonna get in the way of that.
What do you do if she picks Duke or your kid picks Duke, okay? And it's Duke versus UNC. What are you wearing to the game?
Like they just did it?
No, okay, no. So we'll go the other example. We'll say son is on the starting squad at Duke. Duke versus UNC. What are you wearing to the game?
Carolina hoodie. He knows where I stand.
Standing on business.
Still love him. I love my boy, but he knows where I stand. I'd sit out there and I'd go, "You're gonna be great in the league, son. But don't you forget, I won't forget this." And I'll keep watching the exact same way. Like, I'll be like, "I hope we win." I mean, if my boy is good enough to play on Duke, like actually play, and I know he's probably going to the league, I think if he's a role player, and I'm hoping he's fighting for a spot, I'm cheering for him a little harder. If I know he's like so good that I think it'd be funny to cheer for Carolina still. You know what I mean? Like, if he's so good, I know he's going to the NBA, I feel like you just jokingly cheer for Carolina at that point.
Yeah.
Just to screw with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd still support your kid. Like,
he wins the national championship with Duke. Okay.
Okay, that would be a problem. I mean, yeah, that'd be a sad day for
You
me.
keeping anything in the household to celebrate his national championship win?
Yes. He's a national champion. Yes.
Well, I'm just trying to
Yes.
find the line here, okay?
If I had a son who was that good, bro, I would throw it all away. I mean, maybe jokingly wear the Carolina hoodie to the Carolina Duke game, but the fact of even in that game, I would be so happy, bro. And not that I'm in that game, that he's in that game. I'd be sitting there like, can you believe this? Just geeking out to my wife, naming all the players from these rivalries over the year. Like, that'd be crazy.
Oh man. Well, how
Like, you
how tall are
have,
you and your
I
wife?
mean, oh, not tall at all. There's no way our kid could ever play NBA basketball.
Okay, maybe track and field. Maybe shot put's the answer. I don't know.
Soccer would be the most realistic.
Okay. Well,
You don't have to be tall for soccer.
NIL money's bringing a lot of overseas players. You're gonna have to fight pretty hard for that one.
Well, soccer wouldn't even matter. They'd just go to Europe anyways.
Yeah. But all right,
No kid. Yeah, we should actually.
we
talk
should
about
probably actually talk about League of Legends at some point.
Yeah.
I think we're both partially avoiding it to a certain extent because we know the conversation that needs to be had.
Well, do we want to start off with the opening stuff, like the positive stuff, and end with the?
Well, I saw a comment already about Guma Smash stuff yet. That's not
Oh,
positive.
someone's already talked about Guma Smash.
Well, did you hear the rumor?
No.
Smash
What's now?
Smash is starting tomorrow.
Against Genji.
No, they played Genji and lost on Sunday.
Oh, they did play. So wait, they're starting him against the bad teams, and they're making Guma
Well-
play the good teams.
Well, no, Guma played against a bad team first, if I'm not mistaken.
True. No, he did. You're right.
He played against who did he play? He played DRX, beat him 2-0, and then he lost 2-1 to Genji. And then tonight is T1 versus KT, and then Hama Life on Saturday. So Smash will start.
KT's not terrible. That's a fair game.
I think they 2-0 KT, but then Hama Life on Saturday. So both of them basically get one hard opponent, one easy opponent.
Okay. Okay. Well, phew. I mean that changes a lot. I didn't know this was the thing.
Really?
I mean, that's kind of nuts. I mean, I'm obviously not a huge like LCK man, but I watch a lot of their stuff because how can you not in the league
Yep.
space if you exist in it? And that drama I've just been kind of ignoring because it's legitimately so
It's bad.
like it's bad. It's a lot to try to take in. But I mean, this is just going to make it 10 times worse, no?
I mean, it will and it won't. Like, it just because Guma started, like, my understanding of the situation whenever Joe Marsh came out and said his thing that people were like really pissed off about was that Guma would start week 1, but it would be the two of them fighting for the spot. And they would both get, like, my read on it was that both would probably get time in scrims, both would probably get time on stage. You have a full year to figure it out, and you got to give them both time. Like, now, whether you give them extended runs or you swap them out, whatever method you want to go about it, you go about it. But I was always under the assumption that Smash was going to get the play. Like, I don't know why people thought, like, Gumayusi starting was going to be, like, that's it. Like, he starts until he sucks. It's like, no, I figured they'd be rotating pretty consistently. So I don't really see this as drama, personally. But I know the Guma fans are going to be like, you put him in for 1 week and then you put Smash back in for a week. It's like, I don't know. I think that kind of makes sense. No?
Yep. No, it does. Or at least to me it does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough. For fans, I don't really get why they're that mad. This is just how benchings and things work. I know they're all just saying, like, it's not fair because he is owed all this stuff, but that's just not how sports work at the end of the day. You can sign a deal and then it doesn't work out for you, and that's sadly life. Teams are going to do what they want. Not what they want, what they have to win, to be honest, and what they think puts them in the best position. And it sucks for Guma if he has to waste a year of his career like that, playing this like carousel game with them. but then next year he needs to go and prove them wrong, essentially.
Do you see it as a carousel game though, or is it just like the two of them fighting for it?
I think it sucks for him because Guma is clearly good enough,
Yes.
in my opinion. Like, I don't really understand why they're having them fight in this way. Like, it feels more like they're trying to see which one's better and doing their scouting than they're actually like, and they're doing it during real like games and stuff, which is a little weird to me.
I mean, I personally, if you have the chance and it's a long LCK season, I would want it to be done in real games because you want to see how these players stand up against the nerves of the stage and everything else in the moment.
Yeah.
It's tough because you can see that what they're trying to do is they're trying to see if the ceiling of Smash can be hit, or at least like the peak we're assuming, like whether people like this or not, you always assume that the next generation will have better hands than the ones before it. Even if it's only like 4 to 5 years difference, you assume that they will just be better. The assumption is that Smash might have a higher ceiling than Guma. And if he does, then you want to see if you can get to like the point where he eclipses Guma by the end of the year by giving him enough time without regressing Guma in the case that he doesn't and you need to put Guma in. Now, that's obviously ignoring legacy and ignoring like everything else that Guma has done for you as an org. Like it's like purely looking at it from like a win focus and that's it. But it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how many trucks are outside of the stadium tomorrow if Smash does start. Because the big thing I remember whenever Smash originally came in for Guma was that people were pissed that they didn't give advance notice so that fans could be prepped on like fans paid to go see Guma, etc. They might sell their tickets, etc. Stuff like that. Like I'm curious to see how T1 handles like the verbiage of it. I mean, the game's going to start in, 5 hours, give or take? So, or not 5 hours.
Yeah.
A little more. I mean, the day of LCK starts in 6 hours. So.
Yeah, it'll be played in 8, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be played soon. I think it's going to be a little awkward for T1. It hasn't seemed like they've been able to put together how to
talk about it.
Get their fans to buy into it. And their fans are pretty, like, they're very, very aggressive in nature. But, I mean, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, like, they have to live with it, kind of. I mean, this is what teams do. If you actually like the team, if you're a fan of the player or the players only, then yeah. But this is legitimately just how sports work when teams want to win really bad.
Yep.
Especially in the salary cap era.
Yeah, because I'd imagine Smash is way fucking cheaper than Guma is.
Yeah, if you can start putting together how to work out the salary cap, you're gonna do it.
That'd be that's actually that's an interesting angle that I didn't think about. I mean, Guma's contract's locked in, but maybe you could offload it.
Yeah, you could trade.
Would people trade for Guma in the middle of the season?
You don't even have to trade, I guess. You can just move it, to another team. Not even in the middle of the season, by the end of the year, if you want to just get rid of him so you can pay less money for next year. Towards your cap.
I mean, it's not like Smash's salary is probably hurting T1 in any way. He's on league. I guarantee he's on league minimum. At best.
100%.
I could see a world where after the midseason, like part of it, after like those first 2 rounds of LCK and then they do MSI qualification, I could see if they don't pick MSI or if they don't make MSI and like they do decide to go with Smash, that they ship Guma to somebody that wants to try and claim that 4th spot. Because as of right now, the only 3 that you would assume are locked for Worlds, regardless of what happens with the situation, like later in time, would be Hanwha Life, Gen G, T1. And then it's like even then, Gen G, Hanwha Life feel like they're locked 1-2. And then it's D+, T1, I don't know. I feel like there's a clear top 4 personally, but we'll see.
No, I agree. I mean, there is for LCK for sure. I mean, really every region typically has 4 teams that are the best.
Yeah. But Kuma going somewhere could add a 5th. I would say that. I don't think any of the top 4.
Sure.
I don't think any of the top 4 would change. Like
No.
I don't think anybody from. I don't think DK or Genji or Hamwa makes a move for Guma just because he's available at all.
Mhm.
It would be somebody below them.
It would suck for Guma because he would go to essentially a non-contender, which would just be terrible for him. But I think that's just how the salary cap era is going to start being for League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more fiscal, responsible decisions because that's what they view as good.
Lunar asked, why would T1 offload him domestically? Because they have faith that Smash is going to be better and aren't worried about him going to a different team. And nobody else from a different region, in my opinion, I think can afford Guma. TL might break the bank for him, maybe. But I can't see anybody else being able to pay the money that Guma's contract likely is in right now. There's no way, right?
I would highly doubt it. And I mean, honestly, would they? He's slightly right. I guess would he? I don't know. Is there really any other region who could take him right now?
The problem is we don't know salary cap number, and salaries aren't going to be public apparently until Faker
Visa
Faker
in the
retires.
middle.
Visa would be a tough one.
Tough. It'd have to be a spring to summer move, and I don't think they're going to get rid of him this year. I think they want to try to keep him.
I think it depends. If Smash keeps stepping up in the way that he was in the LCK Cup and continuously improving and having these like hyper carry performances, I could see a world where they pull the trigger.
That's fair.
Because at some point, like, think about the press side of this as well. How long do you want to keep both of them there? Dealing with everything that you're dealing with. At that point, just find them a home and move on.
Yeah.
Or find Smash a home and move on. Like, move on from the situation as a whole as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Once it's no longer a benefit to you and you see diminishing returns.
That is fair.
But that's LCK. Anything else on LCK before we go on the positives of LTA?
I don't really have much else. I mean, I've watched some of Hama Life, and Zeka's still the best.
Zeka's
Callie, I guess,
just stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, he decided at one point that he was going to win the game, and that's what he did.
Disgusting. That's why he has a
Yeah,
skin
it's
on
the
it.
best.
Yeah. All right, let's do LTA. Give me your positive thing that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, I just want to talk about Shopify having good viewership and Seos getting.
You're bailed out by Seos and the Brazilians.
I was about to say Seos has that good Brazilian pull, and the fact we did that though without Charlie or Lud co-streaming, I thought that was a very positive thing.
I think it somewhat is. I can't. I'm not sold on the Brazilian fans that would watch for Shopify sticking around once Seos is off the roster. If he's ever off the roster. If he's permanently part of it, then yes. But do we think Shopify is going to be like... It's 1 week in. We have a long way to go before we can determine whether Seos is like the stud player that you make him like center of the franchise and try and build around. But I will say, according to Blippo, Fudge is a problem for you guys. So,
not just according to him, according to his coaches.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he said his coaches have a tier list, and Fudge is in the bottom 3 of like 3 worst players. That's what he said on Pros. That's his direct quote.
Jesus.
Is that Fudge is like one of the bottom 3 players in the league, and they think 3 and all 3 of those players are top laners, but he wouldn't say the other 2.
I'm assuming Sniper's probably up there for them.
Sniper being one of the worst in the league?
I feel
No
like
way.
I feel like people will put Sniper up there for
Wow.
some reason.
I think it was like Castle and Surdy.
Oh, true. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like people have a negative perception
Which
of
would be
Sniper
crazy
versus-
to be Surdy.
Yeah, because they just well, I mean, it wouldn't be terribly crazy. It's fine. The difference is that it's okay for him to be bottom 3 to start and work his way up. It's not okay for Fudge
Yeah, I
to be
guess that's
bottom
true.
3 now. Castle being bottom 3 is a problem. Period. Because I had people from Immortals trying to tell me that, oh, you know, Castle's great, has this great work ethic, but like, bro, if it's not showing up on stage, what do you want me to tell you? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I really don't.
No, that's fair. It doesn't look good for Castles, so that is a good point. That's unfortunate. I don't even have like a good line for that, to be honest.
But overall, you guys look better. Contracts looks good at times.
Yeah.
Palafox
Yeah.
has kind of retained his form, in my opinion.
I don't know. Maybe we look good and I'm just not seeing it, but
Well, who you guys face in week 1? You played.
we played Dig and shoot, C9.
And you scratched out the ugliest win humanly possible against Dig.
Yeah, we looked not great against Dig, and then we threw a lead that wasn't really a lead. It was just a kill lead, but it wasn't a gold lead or anything against C9. So,
but it's also C9. C9's expected. You guys, look, expectation for you guys is to be middle of the pack, fighting for 5th.
yeah.
C9's expected to be top 4 in the league right now. And you guys have, you got about the same week this week. If you don't beat Lion, I think it's a problem. I think that's a fair statement.
That's the right way to say it, I think.
I know it's a best of 1, a meaningless best of 1 at that. But
yeah,
if you can't beat Lion, then I think it's a problem.
I think Lion though is actually pretty good, and they could be the gatekeeper org this year.
They're good. I'm not buying into the hype
Like
yet.
they'll be the 5 that blocks the 6, 7, and 8.
That's fair, but I don't think Lion
That's my
competes
guess.
with the top 4.
Well, I could see them doing it in a sense of like if one of them underperforms, they're the one who steps in. Like if one of the top 4 plays bad,
Yeah.
Lion could sneak their way in, type of deal.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. Because I mean,
I mean,
that's what I have for
obviously-
you guys as well. Like I have TL dropping by the end.
Yeah,
So
it's tough because these games, like, I don't know what we're actually showing. I don't think you would want to lose them, but are they truly showing their best? I don't know. Like, would you show everything you know and what you're good at? Are you trying to do that? I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know.
hard to tell. Also hard for me to like really sit here and put a lot of weight into the results so far,
Yeah.
given that like if you win, you win, you lose. Like the pressure's not there. There might be pressure on stage, but it's not like elevated.
There's bragging rights and that's it, which
Yeah.
is tough. There's only bragging rights.
It's different when you're playing for like your life or you're playing with like much higher stakes on it and you can feel the emotion of it. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of these it's unfortunate, but a lot of these teams just aren't like needing this, I guess, to the bragging rights right now. They don't need to have the bragging rights currently because I don't think regular seasons like fully matter anymore
No.
just because of how league has gone, and I think they also realize like it doesn't
I'll be honest.
matter too much.
I'll be honest though. I do think you guys are falling behind the curve in one sense. FlyQuest and TL are both actively like not even looking at replacements. FlyQuest has signed a 6-man, and TL is reportedly scrimming with different mids and ADC or mids and jungles to try out different people. Yeah, they're trying out different players. So if two of the top Luna, if two of the top 3 teams are looking at possible replacements for their weaker players, and you guys are just continuing on as is it going to be possible to go up and above them? Also, are you fucked then in terms of like talent for next year? Like TL and Fly being this proactive in making sure that like their weak links are shored up surely spells doom for the bottom half of the league if you guys are not like being as active on that front.
I mean, I think it's not great for Shopify, but they'll still have next season to they'll still have next off season to fix things, and you can go find people, whatever, what have you. But I do have slightly, it's worrying that they could find people quicker, maybe. I mean, I don't really know though if it matters the people now that they're taking. I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know if they're taking somebody that is a prospect. I don't really know prospects too well anymore in League.
I mean, neither
It's not easy to figure it out.
I didn't know about this Gakos guy that FlyQuest is apparently bringing in. But then I looked it up, and I remember the headline from last year. And this dude was being heavily recruited for both Valorant and League of Legends. And chose League over Valorant. And is now
he's from Europe?
He's Turkish, I believe. And he was playing in the LFL Tier 2, like Division 2. And apparently, like, according to Papa Smithy, but also from what I've seen on social media, people have been hyping this kid and his mechanics up for a while. And if he...
Why would you...
What?
Never mind. Keep going.
No, good.
My bad.
No, good.
Why would you come here if you're picking League over Valorant? Like, NA. Why would you pick NA for that?
You tell me, why did BB come here?
Why did who?
BB. It was a stepping stone for him to get to G2. Perform well on FlyQuest. Whenever your contract's up, go to Europe.
He also wanted attorney here, yes.
He did. So and I think FlyQuest is already in the position where if things click when he comes in, he could win. And then all of a sudden, guess what? You build your name on the international stage, and then if you think say Kana wants to go back to Korea for some reason, if you think K-Corp isn't throwing a little bit of cash at Gakos in 2 to 3 years' time, yeah, they absolutely would.
Although BB did go back and play for Schalke, which was dark times.
Yeah.
Dark times for him.
But that's my point being, you can still use NA as a catapult potentially if you want to.
No, you can.
But also, can you name a better person to learn under than Blippo?
I guess to learn.
That's what I'm saying.
To learn
I don't
know. Is Blippo a good teacher?
Look, all I'm saying is I trust the guy who has been in this exact situation and had what he would not want to have happen to him in that moment become a learning experience that now he can make sure that when Gakos comes in and does this, that it's not the same experience that he had with SOAS.
Yeah.
Because from what I heard, just back when, I think Blippo's talked about it a few times, I don't remember him and SOAS having a good relationship whenever he was subbing in occasionally on the team.
He never talked about it like it was a good thing.
And Blippo genuinely, I mean, if you take Blippo at his word, I've never believed Blippo to be a liar in any way, shape, or form. He believes that he can coach him up to do well, and he believes that it can be a positive thing for everybody.
That's fair. I don't know. That's just such a weird. That's a weird thing to me. What FlyQuest is doing right now.
Yeah.
I guess it is what it is. I just don't really comprehend the change. I do think Bippo can be very up and down, and that's probably a lot for them to deal with, and he's probably a lot to take in from everything you hear Bippo do. But so I understand why they would not have an issue with that.
He's also not great on the meta picks. If we're being
No,
honest, he's not great on the meta picks.
he needs to cheese to win.
And having
And
somebody on that team that can play the meta picks if you need to, rather than just the counters,
yeah,
seems pretty good, especially with Fearless being like the thing moving forward.
yeah, because it's weird. Like, there's part of me that wants to be like, Bippo is what you need to win against Koreans because you can't just do what they do. You gotta switch it up and make it happen. But the problem is like Bippo can't, like, for some reason he can't play outside of what he can play. So if the Koreans at any point figure out a counter to what he can do, he just doesn't do much else.
And the thing is that Fearless also unintentionally helps the Korean players. Like we
does.
have known for years that the Korean players have been super stubborn and not wanting to like pick up their new things. They'll play the same
Yeah.
champions over and over and over again if they can. And now Fearless, while it barely moves the needle a tiny bit, it at least forces them off a little bit. So Blippo's like unique counter picks aren't going to work all the time anymore.
No. No, that's true. And if they can play one of his counters, they can just take it from him.
Yeah.
And it's gone. So
I like the move. I would be scared if I was a fan of any of the bottom teams. Seeing that these guys are willing to make these moves now.
yeah, just because you don't think they can get them and their scouting isn't going to be good enough.
That, but also even if these pieces don't work, then fine. TL and FlyQuest have like early information into like what they want to do for next year. But on top of that, if they do work, then you've got a piece set that's easier to recruit around.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it way easier than trying to be like, if you're Shopify and this roster doesn't work out, okay, what majority roster do you have to work with potentially? Like what's your step forward? And the answer is that like you don't know. You're kind of shooting in the dark, and you're trying to get people to buy into something, and it's like, good luck.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Fly is like the pseudo premier org now, I guess, of NA in the way of like they're the one pushing the league, I guess, the most and doing different things, community engagements, really throwing everything out there to try to change things. I think C9 partnered with them well, but C9 like did ultimately the C9 thing I've seen them do forever. Like they'll do something with someone. I never see C9 like doing the thing to be the change. Essentially, they'll just do whatever you do. If you want to do that, then fine, we'll do that with you.
Yep.
Type of thing. And TL is just TL. They're trying a lot. I mean, they're going on TikTok. TL tries stuff. They keep trying to build super teams. Like it's what they do. They finally tried out rookies now, and they're very quickly already dumping one of them. So they're like done with the APA incredibly quick. So that's just what TL does. They go and buy.
A year and a half, I don't think is quick.
I think a year and a half is pretty fast for what APA has done.
For what he's done, yes. In general, I would say it's not all that quick.
He's won 2 titles.
Yeah.
Essentially, and I think like dumping a guy after 2 titles is a pretty short leash. I guess I'll take that quick and replace it with short leash.
That I will agree with. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll switch the wording, so now I'm right, and we'll act like I never said that.
Because that's how it works, right? Once you slot the
Yeah.
wording, the thing goes away.
Yes, yes. What I said previously, you can't even rewind back to see. So I've won.
I forgot to mention
But-
the Europeans hate you on TikTok.
do they really?
I posted the clip of us talking about Los Ratones and like them coming to North America. Bro, they got mad that you did not know how to pronounce the jungler's name. I was like, you guys are
Velia or
agreeing.
whatever?
Yeah, it's like you guys are agreeing with his point. It's like doesn't matter. He can't even spell it right. Not gonna take it as valid. I was like, okay, fine. You do
Oh,
you.
like they liked what I said, but hated my point
Yeah.
because of
Therefore,
the
but
name.
because of the name thing, so it was like you were hated.
I mean, I'll respect it. I'll just cheer against them if they hate on me. But I mean, I still can't pronounce the dude's name, so they probably still hate me. I think it's Velia.
Yeah, it
I
is. It
don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've seen like videos where people have or I've seen Los Ratones stuff. I've heard his name. I just didn't remember it or don't.
Yep.
But I mean, that's life. I hope they all lose, and I hope life sucks for them outside of KC, and that the rats have to deal with the wrath of the Blue Army.
Oh
But
God.
I mean,
Oh
that'll
God.
be my parting words to them. But I do like. I don't know what you do if you're the smaller orgs now, because if Fly's putting this much effort in, and Fly, I'm gonna be honest, they've been just trying everything to win the past couple years. I mean, they've been just doing a lot. I mean, even when they built that super team that didn't work out, there was still high effort. Like
Yeah.
you can't blame their effort for what they're doing. And now with this, they're building through young guns that they see, and they're even getting younger now.
Yeah.
If they go with this Turkish top laner, which is like that's kind of crazy. But okay, well, super teams never work.
I mean,
Orgs never learn.
I would not consider this a super team. Gakkos isn't a move that you get as a super team.
No, he's talking about me saying they were trying when they built the super team
Oh
in the past. When I
yeah,
said that.
yeah. I mean,
But
technically they did learn. They're no longer going with the super team.
yeah, I was gonna say I think super teams have worked in the past. I mean, would you say like Gen G was a failure last year?
You're getting into tricky territory there because some people are going to say, yeah, if they didn't win Worlds, did they really win?
Yeah, three titles in 1 year, or two, my bad. They won two. Only two. Tough year. Very tough
Team Liquid
year.
was a super team, as Khan pointed out. They won in 2018. I don't know if we've had this debate before of like 2018
Yeah.
TL whether they were a super team because of the whole like TSM best in the West thing that ended up collapsing.
I don't even know, like, people said TSM was a super team back then, but then as history went on, like, people have now acted like 2016-17 TSM was never a super team. But back in the day, pairing Doublelift and Bjergsen was like,
that was a
everybody
super team.
thought that was a super team.
Yeah.
But then, like, when people wanted to start making the point super teams never work, they just started going, well, that's not really a super team. It's like, okay, I think you could say 2018 TL isn't a super team,
Yeah.
but 2019 TL has to be a super team.
Uh-huh.
So they can work, but I'm getting distracted. I need to quit that.
You're-
FlyQuest, but FlyQuest doing what they did, you have to say it's like they're trying their best. And I think they're putting everything in there. And if you're a bad team, that's not a good sign for you, because the fact that they're still trying their best is just going to make it even harder for you. And they're the only ones doing good effort on engagement, I would say.
Yeah.
Like that at least they're putting in a lot of work. And you can't say the same for, I would say, most of the bottom teams.
Yeah.
Sadly. That's just how it is. I mean, C9 and TL will always have fans just because of who they are. Like, it'll take them leaving the league to not be a couple of the top ones. 100 Thieves goes through waves
Yep.
of fans, I feel like.
Oh, well, I mean, did you see the poll numbers I put out of like this was at the time, so I'd be curious if I re-asked it now. How many people had signed up for each team's fantasy thing, which means like you had to designate that like they were your favorite team on the site. FlyQuest was clear number
Wow.
1, TL was clear number 2, C9 was pretty far behind both of them. And then 100 Thieves was really far behind C9, TL, and FlyQuest. And then the rest filtered in to the point where Dig's number was scarily low. Like, terrifyingly low. If I'm Dig, I'm
What was
panicking
Dig's
a little
number?
bit. Like 135. Now, again, it could have grown. Could have grown.
135?
Hang on. Let me pull up the tweet so I'm not entirely speaking out of my ass.
Yeah, I need to see these numbers.
Now, again, this is slightly outdated because more people were coming in as days went on. Scrolling back further, even further. Okay, FlyQuest was at 1 at the time as of 4/4. So this is 5 days ago. FlyQuest had 2,018. Team Liquid had 1,751. Cloud9 had 1,558. 100 Thieves had 698. Lion had 312. Disguise had 310. Shopify had 268. And Dignitas had 138.
Oof. Is this on the website?
It's only available if you are like logged in and like somebody that is like in that team fantasy league shares you the number. Now, for context, the 100 Thieves number has doubled. The 100 Thieves number as of right now is 1,279. I don't know if you can check what the Shopify one is by logging into yours. If you do LTA fantasy and then
Shopify
leagues.
one, I see.
How many people?
There's 454 in Shopify.
Okay, so you guys didn't nearly double. Like you're just under double.
Do you have this list in photo form I can see?
Yeah, here I can.
I'm sorry. You said a bunch of numbers, but my brain's not that smart. Sorry.
Got you. For anybody in chat, if you are in LTA fantasy and you are a fan of anybody but Shopify or 100 Thieves, can you check your fantasy now and put it in chat? I'm trying to live check this. I'm trying to get the numbers.
What is 100 Thieves now?
100 Thieves now is 1,279. So we doubled.
Dang, dude. That list is nuts. 100 Thieves is so low compared to what I thought they'd be. I feel like Cloud9 is also... I thought they were a little bit bigger than that. FlyQuest is that popular?
FlyQuest is now at 3,585 per Kiki in chat.
That's kind of crazy.
Yep. So interesting. 100 Thieves doubled. FlyQuest went up about 75%. You guys went up about 75%. I'm really curious to know TL and C9. If anybody in chat is able to log in and check. But that's the numbers that we got so far. Because I think TL might be able to pass FlyQuest if they actually promoted it. But I don't know if they did. By the way, it's not a pretty picture when you look at that. And then somebody was taking a look at the LTA South teams, and the numbers were dwarfing ours. It wasn't even close. So they said that there's...
Are they really?
For context. Okay, hang on. We can actually do some live math on this. I'm about to pull this up. Okay, so we know 100 Thieves is 1272. We know you guys have what? What do you say? 5 something?
No, it was for like 54.
54. Or I'm just going to take a blank. It looks like everybody went up around 75%. We will put a blanket assumption that everybody in the league went up about 75% more people.
Okay.
Okay. this is going to blow your fucking mind. Okay. The LTA posted a few days ago that 70,000 people have signed up for LTA Fantasy. That's a pretty good number. What do you think the number of LTA is, assuming that it's grown by 75% from where it is now?
The number of like fans in fantasy.
Correct.
75% from where it is. It's probably somewhere around 10K, 12K.
Think about what that means. That means that of 70,000 people, and I did the math, 75% growth will put us at 12,300.
Oh my.
That means that there are 12,300 people that are fans of North America that signed up. There are 57,700 people that are fans of LTA South that signed up.
They had 57,000?
That's what that math would mean, yeah. Because you have to pick a team. I don't think you can skip it, to my understanding.
Did you see what Lunar put?
Yeah.
Leviathan is at 4.5K?
Astral is at 2.2K. Pain and Louder is big as LTA as a whole.
Is Leviathan even that big?
No. Pain and Louder are the two big ones.
Smaller teams? Oh my gosh, bro.
We are dwarfed. We are 12,000.
It's more cooked.
Divided by.
Is this just how we're gonna roll into this conversation?
Yeah, we are. Lion is at 15. Lion is at 546. Oh, Leviathan is the biggest biggest LLA org. Not the biggest CBLOL org. Okay, so we got two more numbers in chat. Cloud9 is apparently at 2,605, which is right around that 75, a little less than 75% of that growth. And then Lion is at 546, which similar thing, right around 75%. Maybe a little bit more on that one. We are 18%. North America is 18% of the total amount of people playing fantasy right now.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh, it's
yeah,
fucked. It's fucked.
Nox dropping that line right now too. Nox put Monty had a great tweet like a day or two ago about the change in branding. Gave legacy fans a way out. I saw that one earlier.
I said that fucking. I said it 2 months ago.
I know you did.
I said the minion base race ending it was the picture perfect ending for so many people for the LCS.
Yep.
I remember Khan's right. I remember us talking about it in the Discord. About how this is if this is really the end, it's kind of a picture perfect ending. Which is going to be a problem because a lot of people will leave. And guess what? A lot of people left.
I don't know what you do. I mean, earlier I put in esports, I was the Debbie Downer that I know a lot of people were like, that's stupid, you want to give up, blah, 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 blah. I honestly do think you have to at some point you have to come to grips with reality. And you just have to say, last year, a ton of viewership went really well for Worlds. LoL Esports was in one of its best spots ever. Domestically this year, EU and LCK are putting up crazy numbers. That's the only two ones we can really gauge for fan interest. Yep. CBLOL, or my bad, LTA South is still somehow doing okay through the brand change and through getting teams, losing 4 teams. So if they can somehow hold on through us basically grabbing them and pulling them down with us, to slowly kill them with us, and we're still dropping. And on top of all of this info, Arcane Season 2 just happened. And that was literally the last thing I could think of. That is the biggest marketing thing you could do to get people interested in League of Legends. If none of that makes us grow in viewership and we're still losing viewers, you legitimately just have to be ignoring the issues in front of you, or you just don't want to listen. Like, you don't want to hear
That's what
the
Travis.
doomers.
I'll be honest with you. That's what Travis did. I listened to
And that's
Hotline League
okay.
this past week, and he ended the conversation. He didn't say much, and then he ended the conversation with, I'm really tired of talking about the viewership thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're checked out. Got it. You don't
Yeah,
have the
'cause,
fight.
I mean,
Because realistically, if you are fighting to keep the scene alive, you would be talking about it. And not
Yeah.
in like a this sucks, it's fucking over and doomed way. You'd be talking about it in a way to try and provide constructive solutions to fix it.
yeah.
And all I got from Hotline League this past weekend was, again, the identification of issues, but not providing any tangible feedback in terms of the steps that should be taken in championing an issue publicly that can help change it.
Yeah. And it's you kind of have to have the viewership topic at the end of every podcast you do. Like his podcast, you eventually have to talk about it. You can't, like, this kind of thing is such a big deal. Like, you actually can't just ignore it.
No.
And it's not great. It's one of those, though. I know people like are throwing around a lot of ideas, and I don't think they're all bad. We talked a lot today in the chat about Riot's marketing, teams. I'm on the side that if teams aren't building fan bases, it's not genuine marketing, and I don't think Riot marketing is actually going to do much.
No. If you're trying to market shit, you're marketing shit. Now that said, I still think Riot is fucking under delivering the hell out of it. They fucked this LTA launch entirely.
They did.
So like that's on them. Like I get that maybe the team I get not even maybe. I agree the teams did not do as much as they should be doing on that front as well to promote a new league. I think everybody
Yeah.
from all parties fucked the promotion and marketing of this entirely. But now,
Yeah.
in my mind, I didn't mean to cut you off. So
No,
let
no.
me-
I was cutting you off. What were you about to say?
in my mind, I said this in my video, and now more people have kind of gotten behind it. One, you go back to the LCS. Two, teams need to step the fuck up massively in promoting this league, in promoting your players,
Yeah.
and doing the things that we need to do to just act like your job and salary is on the line. Because in reality, if you can't read the fucking leaves in the room, it is. I got an interesting stat. I don't know if they'd be comfortable with me saying it publicly, but I feel like saying it. I can't say where I got it from. Apparently, anywhere between 1/4 and 1/3 of the league is on minimum. $75K.
Wow. Really?
I can't validate that, but I believe it. And if we're being honest, is that enough viewership?
Wow.
Is that enough viewership to validate that as well? Can you validate
Wow.
with a contract? No, the public salaries are not allowed to be public unless there's a collective bargaining agreement in place. Individual player salaries are not allowed to be public unless they say it. So
I mean, honestly, I don't. The viewership just isn't there for that many contracts. Obviously, like, not for the broadcast, the everything that happens. No, there's no way. Coaches, players, all that. The money will not add up. But I don't think. Trying to think of a good way to say it because I don't want it to be terrible.
You can be harsh.
But
That's fine.
I think the teams going to Korea and doing an event in Korea this offseason like they did with Fear X, while in their mind was a good idea, it just made me accept, and why I said podcasts ago, this is done and I'm done worrying about it and I'm just going to ride the wave while it dies. Because while I'm watching Casey, who I have officially stated basically that I am following a lot more closely than NA teams, like while I watch Casey do this Red Bull event on home soil, bring other teams to them, and do everything in their power to do the grassroots build that they've been building and are continuing to do, and they do that. Our teams go to Korea for whatever reason, and I get wanting to get better, but what's the point in getting better if nobody's watching? And they go over there, they do an event over in Korea. It's in the middle of the night, like, and they say, well, and Papa Smithy has stated too, we think building international audience is really the only way to do it now because we think NA is fully tapped out. Well, if you believe that, and viewership is going down while you've been putting all this effort into international audience building,
Where's
like
the
that's not
international
working.
audience to show for
Yeah,
doing
they're
that?
not watching. And the organic audience you had that's homegrown and all that is basically dead because you put not very much effort in. I mean, they get maybe 4 weekends out of the year that I can
Yeah.
think of where tournaments happen outside of LA. So unless everyone's willing to make the pilgrimage to LA, which isn't like an easy flight for Americans,
No.
that's not really what they're gonna do. So it just made me realize like there's not much you can do to really fix that kind of thing. And I at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm really gonna pour into Shopify because they did that Charlie Ludd announcement, and I think that's pretty cool. Let's give this a go, and let's see if this is what really turns around the league with Toast coming and with Charlie and Ludd. But now that we're split in, I'm kind of just feeling like I've started to kind of pull that back. And let's be real, they've pulled back too. Not Toast, but Charlie and Ludd definitely have. I think they see the viewership and they don't see it as that good of an opportunity versus just normally streaming anyways. And the I can honestly say like KC is easier to pour into something where I see the vision and I respect the vision. And I'm not done with Shopify. I still watch all the Shopify games. I talk about what Shopify's doing. I just can tell I am slowly getting done with the league though. And I can tell where it's going.
With the LTA.
And yeah, I don't think there is much they can do to even fix it because I'm looking everywhere else around the world and I just see breaking records, surviving us trying to pull them to death. And then I look at ours and I'm like, we're still just in this free fall. And literally, we just had the best promotional material you can possibly have. Like,
Yeah.
what more promo can you ask for
You can't.
than what we just got?
Nothing.
Like, the last thing I think before I give up on it will be like, I'm not going to quit watching when I say give up on it. I just mean mentally accepting it's done. I think this next Worlds is like the last shot they have at maybe trying to turn heads. Maybe.
If they don't perform, like if we do not win a quarterfinal match,
And not even just winning, just getting, if the teams don't engage with fans and build something from it. And I don't know how you do it in a month, tourney. I really don't. But you're in the desperation mode where you better be trying to figure out how. Like, to be honest, you better be begging and clawing and trying to figure out everything. Because I mean, is Mythical Raccoon wrong? The game's not as popular as it used to be in NA.
No, but
It still has good enough numbers.
Here's my thing with that. Let's not act like these record-setting viewerships for the LCK and for the LEC. Well, not for the LEC right now, but like, for these international events that have been happening throughout the years, and Caedrel's continuously climbing viewership. Let's not act like Americans aren't a good part of that.
Yeah.
Americans are I meet so many fucking people that tell me that they're watching Caedrel and not watching the LTA. Like, so many.
Yeah.
Now, is it enough that if we got all of them back? No, you need to get more people than that. But like, there's an English watching audience clearly out there. Worlds, when it comes back here next year, even if the LTA is down to 45,000 views concurrent, we're still going to sell out every fucking stadium. Like that, there are people that want to watch high quality League of Legends. Like when the LCK teams are playing, there will be people that want to be here. We didn't have a team in the semifinals at the State Farm Arena last year or in 2022. We sold that shit out fully twice in a row with no NA team. That was our worst performing year ever of Worlds. North America was worse than we've ever been. And that shit was still sold out every fucking day. There's an American audience that wants to watch League of Legends, but we have given them no reason to. Bro, it's not 22? Yeah. The market has grown. I cannot wait for Worlds next year for this point to just prove people wrong. That the LTA can die, but North American League of Legends or like NA League fans can still exist. I cannot wait for next year to prove this point wrong. And I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. By all means, I will. But I'm telling you.
No, yeah. No, and they made good points, like also this MSI you have to sell out. Or you don't have to sell out the arena. I'm not saying that. Like, you have to sell out as an org to building fan engagement from something like that. But it's so hard, and the reason I didn't really count it is because I assume in Worlds they're going to go to LA. I don't think this MSI is not coming to LA. It's going to be in Canada, and it's so difficult when you only play in LA, and that's realistically all.
And it's West Coast Canada too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. But I'm in a tough spot where I've never been this disappointed of what they've done like this. I mean, it's very hard to sit here and think there is a chance. And I know I was so doomer in that Discord chat. But the reason is because I'm like, this is genuinely how I feel. I don't think there is a lot to hope for, and I don't know where you find the hope. And I feel like everybody who gives me a reason or has like something that they call hopeful about it is just like, it's the most coped thing ever, and it is never like actually, it never happens.
No. Look, I know. Let me ask this. The things that I gave you, the steps that I provided, be honest, full cope?
The steps in the video you made?
Yeah.
The 6-minute one? Yeah, those I thought were actually like, in my opinion, I think that makes sense. I know some people want to say the LCS thing is dead, and there's nothing you can do. And I do think the LCS branding is going to take a big hit if you bring it back. But essentially what you're doing in that way of going, you're killing LTA and bringing LCS back, is maybe you're hoping that it's like a League 2 type feel.
Yeah.
Like this is the League reborn or something. I mean, that's all I could think of you trying to do. Because I think all your reasons were true. Your fears were very true. And the ways you were giving, the points you were making to try to bring the league back or give them ideas is like one of the few ways I can think to do it.
here's
And I don't think you're coping. I just think it's like I think and just as much as I know,
yeah.
more than likely it never happens and it doesn't work out.
Well, the thing that I want to make clear to people is like everybody. I've seen so many people say this, be like, just bringing back the LCS branding doesn't do anything. Yeah, no shit. That's why I had 2 other things with it. Like, I'm well aware of
Yeah.
the fact that like you can't just slap the name LCS back on and be like, we're saved. Well, it's all good. It's like, no, like there are massive underlying problems with this region
Yeah.
that we have to fix all at once. And I don't want to hear from people, oh, there's too many things. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you can make 4 to 5 things happen collectively at once and maybe get the players to fucking buy. Like I don't know who needs to slap some sense into these goddamn players. But if we want to if everybody puts in the effort, we can make it work. The question is just whether you have faith in everybody to put their best foot forward. And the only people that I think might in this situation be trying to put their best foot forward, and this is a big might, is just upper management of some of these orgs.
Yeah.
I don't think Riot, and that's when I say that Riot's not, I'm not pinning that on Mark C. I'm pinning that on the people above him that likely forced him into this merger, that likely forced this situation. When I say players, I mean, I think it goes without saying that players' unwillingness to do content beyond just a few, like TL players not wanting to do content, or like live streams and streaming scrims, which is like the current only thing you got, because as of right now, like the YouTube videos and stuff like that, beyond that, like it's not enough. Like social media, you have to blitz it, and I don't know if we're putting out enough content to be able to do that. TL's got great videos, C9's got good videos, 100 Thieves, we've been putting out some stuff consistently, including vlogs. Like somebody made the comment that it feels like the LTA lost its soul. Like it's a soulless entity and organization. And I will say I feel like I get that from a lot of the people around the league as well. Of like I don't want this to be too harsh, but like just playing to win North America lacks a lot of the soul of what built us up here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's declining.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like if everybody's bought in on trying to fix this, like I'm trying to champion it to be, then maybe it could work. But otherwise, the writing's on the wall, and I'm scared because I don't know what we do in 3 years.
Well, ultimately, it feels like you have to do some of what you were saying about.
Just okay. No, that pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
I'm trying to reel myself in and not say anything
What
stupid.
pissed you off?
The comment, just let it go. If you want to watch League, watch LEC, LCK, LPL. If you want to watch American esports, then watch VCT.
Well,
all I'm gonna say to that is no.
Yeah, there's
No.
a lot of people who just aren't going to give it up, whether people like it or not.
Like,
And I mean, that's the thing. Even when I've said I'm in a stage of acceptance, I still watch because I love this thing. I want it to live. I'm not saying it can't live. I more just mean when I tell people this stuff, I genuinely am worried about. Like, I don't see an angle where the current management group can fix it. And I don't think they have the ability to get hands off enough to let it be fixed. And for some reason, they've taken the very strong stance that leaving it in LA is the choice. And I will say, like, that it was always destined to fail because we were never going to win Worlds,
No.
more than likely, and like LA just doesn't work with that. You have to. It's a city of it likes champions, and that's about it. If you're not winning, they're not watching.
I also saw Doc Respawn talk about this, and he suggested going online for everything outside of like finals where you do more road
Ah,
shows.
man.
If you're gonna go online, dude, that requires players to stream a lot and like put a lot more shit out there if you're gonna make online only work.
Yeah.
From a financial point of view, I get it because like the whole thing of this being in LA and the production being 50,000 a day and shit's unsustainable. When you add it, even 50 players on league minimum salary is still a lot. Like how much money is that? I need to calc that real quick. Oh, that's Camera Hub. Nope, that's not what I need. I need a calculator. 75,000 times 50 people. That's $4 million rounded on salary. 3.75 million.
Yeah, that just doesn't work.
And $50,000 a day. There's what? How many broadcast days are there? I think there's we'll assume on the low end, like 16-ish, give or take. So then 16 times 50,000, that's about $1 million as well. So your minimum operating costs without labor of everybody else, without talent, without anything, just to keep the studio on and to pay the players is 5 mil. How are you making 5 mil on 60,000 viewers?
Yeah, you aren't. You just aren't. You're not. No.
That's not fucking happening. There's no way.
I mean, you just cannot. I mean, the. I
Oh,
think the
never mind, yeah.
only.
I put 50 players instead of 40 because we lost 2 teams.
Ooh,
So salary's
that's
less. So
tough.
it's less. It's less. We're gonna assume 4 million total.
Yeah, but you only did players. You didn't even do coaches and workers,
Yeah.
which an online stream still has some broadcasts and all that. But who cares? It's not a big deal. It's but it's like, and at that point, if we're just gutting the teams and everything, they're just gonna keep performing worse. So you're not going to be good anymore, like from a competitive standpoint. When you go places, which I get doesn't matter, but that's just going to feel worse the more internationals we add, and they are adding a lot. But well, they've added 2 essentially in the past 2 years. If you count EWC and First Strike, which EWC at this point might as well count as official because
Might as well. Like I hate to say it, but you might as
yeah,
well. Although I will say the one bit of happiness that I got today from all this shit, 100 Thieves announced that they're getting in the TFT.
that's cool,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point too. Butter My Tushy said OCE went online and they don't exist. It's literally the next step. It
Yeah,
is. Like
it is.
it's the thing that
It is.
happens. When people say go online, they're essentially saying pull the plug, let's get this on even less eyes and let's watch this disappear. I mean,
Yep.
I just I think it's this like cyclical conversation that will just never end until the league eventually does die, because or it somehow makes it out. I don't know how it does, but it somehow makes it out because they've chosen LA for whatever reason, least central place you could pick in America. They never got into um what was it called? Into road shows, which really hurt in NA specifically. NA hurts when you don't do road shows. We're just a roadshow type place or a place where you need like
Boots on the ground.
at least yeah to get around or have a bunch of teams in different places. Like you just have to have one of the two so people can actually go to the thing. I think you they genuinely have no plan of how to fix it. Killing the branding was an obvious sign of like, we think that we're just going to get a fresh new face and that's going to be the thing that fixes it. But in reality, it's like Kana said a lot. You lost 6 brands or orgs over the last couple of years or 3 years or whatever, and you've now cut the entire brand of the league, and you put it in with this new one that isn't really that good to say, and half the time the people who are still around don't even say it right. And you also took 2 more teams away to add 2 more random slots with Lions and DSG. So it's like, what is their plan from there? And so far it's been, we're doing our best. We
Yeah.
hope you quit hating, and we gave you fantasy, which isn't the worst. They
No, it's
tried
good.
something,
Yeah.
but fantasy probably isn't going to like bring in new fans. That's something you do for the existing ones.
Yeah. Which
And their problem right
is
now is they're
good.
not growing.
It's good once you
Yeah,
get
it's
people
good.
into it. But like
Yeah.
we're back to square one of like you got a marketing problem. And
Yep.
look, I'm in this weird spot more than most where it's like I'm actively chasing a dream to be part of this in some capacity.
Mhm.
So watching it die feels like for every bit that people are like upset by it, like it hurts me as well. Which is why like I refuse to let this shit go. And I'll admit there's a monetary pull for this. And I'll tell you, I make less money from social media whenever I talk about NA only. So it's depressing to see those numbers go down. But it's like
Yeah.
I'm confirmed to be giving that. I think I mentioned this last week. I'm giving a panel talk at NYU next month. It's going to
Nice.
be me, Greg Kim, who was with CLG back when, and then one of the guys from Dignitas. We're going to be talking to NYU students about the state of esports, and it's in partnership with their sports marketing and sports something program. But like it's great to go to my alma mater and like talk about the thing that I love. I completely forget where I was fucking going with this. But basically, it's tough to want to be like to be doing all these things and trying to push everything and just know in the back of your mind that shit might be crumbling. Because 2018 me was sitting in that class at NYU, tracking the social media numbers of LCS teams, praying to one day be a part of one. And it's going to kill me on the inside if the league collapses before I can get there. It's literally going to kill me. And not before anybody takes that as me saying self-harm. No, I don't mean that. I just mean it's going to legitimately hurt. It's like,
Yeah.
so how do I go into this? And I'm going to push more of the content, like international side of League of Legends. But how do you go into that conversation knowing that I was where those kids are sitting right now, and make sure that they can still have those dreams and aspirations that I once had sitting in their seat? That I don't know. Eric Sell, thank you for the follow, and Paul, thanks for the sub, man.
Yeah, I don't. That is the question that I think Riot itself needs to maybe start looking internally at how they got themselves in this position with leadership.
Yeah.
And it also could be, I still stand by the idea. Riot, I also don't think Riot really makes any of these grow that well.
No.
I think China's done its own thing. Korea mainly was grown by OGN originally. and then they decided to kind of take that over, and it's done its thing. I don't think I mean, they haven't mismanaged Korea, but I think they would have to like do something insane to make Korea not grow.
And I think it's more the
And
teams
then
in Korea,
it is.
given that they're
And
hitting
LEC,
record high viewership all time. So like
that's
they're
true.
doing something right over there, and I think that's mostly off the back of the teams, personally. But
And Brazil honestly did its own thing in spite of, right? I would say. I know some people think like the Brazilian leadership helped there a lot too, which they probably did do some good things. But it seems like the Brazilian teams and the Brazilian fan base kind of did their thing and grew, and then Riot this year even tries to handicap them.
yeah,
And LEC tried to stop some of the teams making their league break viewership records. Like some of these teams that are responsible for breaking these records, they did so much to try to stop them.
yep,
In Koi and Keikor, they were like, I mean, they were openly on broadcast at points, like dumping on them.
yep,
So it was kind of awkward. But those fan bases just overpowered them. And then the one region that they had their hands, their grimy little hands all over, and they were right next door and they did everything they could. They mismanaged it into the gutter.
yep,
So it's the one region where teams bent the knee too much, I think. And they did their best to get rid of the teams that wouldn't. And they did a good job. I mean, they got rid of the teams they wanted to, and it just didn't work out for them.
yep.
So, and some of them were just horribly mismanaged. There's also that.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Casey got denied 2 years in a row for buying a slot. Yeah, see, they just. This is why I don't think Riot really ever has actually done anything good, and it's just them, like, teams doing well in spite of them, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that's
Like,
a good spot a good note to end on.
yeah. I mean, and we're just the only one who couldn't do well in spite of them, to be honest.
That's a great. Like I literally couldn't say anything better than that to wrap it up. I don't think. Any final notes you want to
Which
put out there?
sucks.
Anything you're looking forward to this week?
Well, looking forward to this week.
Yeah.
Probably just more of the best of ones, baby. More best of ones that don't count. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling top notch. But yeah, that should be fun.
I am super. I'm obviously happy to watch 100 Thieves play. I am super excited to see what happens with T1 this week. With Smash stepping in.
That'll
I
be
think it's just
sick.
it's gonna be wild. The LCK has been fun to catch up on highlights. I hate not being able to see it live. Kinda is what it is. But oh well. That's about it. Alright. I'm David. This is Paul. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you on next week's crossover. I'm not sure when I'll be streaming next. Probably maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. And let me see. Low budget LCS. Do we have a match set yet? I don't think we do. Still nothing set for the low budget LCS. So I'll let you all know. Follow Paul on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. And I'll catch you around. Bye-bye.